Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in the world it is that you are. Welcome once more to another live stream of Alexandra Mayers Live, page by page reading and commentary of the Bible, Modern English Version. Tonight we're going to get into Exodus 24, the covenant confirmed. And if you've been with me for the past couple of days, you know that we've gone over areas of Exodus which cover ways that society needed to be governed in that time. It went over the laws of the land, how you were to rule over your servants, your household, if there were disputes with your neighbors when it came to property, which mainly revolved around farming, ranching, the livestock you may have, the land that you may have, things like that, which really did give us a nice mental picture as to how life was back in those times of the Bible, and it was a simple life. It was a simple life. It probably wasn't that simple for those who lived in those times. You think about it and you think about how complex our lives are in these times that we live in. But I'll bet you 500 years from now, 1,000 years from now, there's going to be people who look back at us and they'll say, oh, those people who lived in 2023, they had such a simple life. It was so archaic. Oh, it's all about perspective, isn't it? So let's go ahead and get into this, and I will provide my commentary as I see fit. The covenant confirmed. Then he said to Moses, come up to the Lord, you and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and you shall worship from a distance. Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come near, nor may the people go up with him. Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the ordinances. Then all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord has said, we will do. Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and built an altar at the foot of the mountain with 12 pillars for the 12 tribes of Israel. He sent young Israelite men who offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of young bulls to the Lord. So this is interesting. All this time that Moses is receiving these instructions from God and everything, there's many witnesses. This is all happening at Mount Sinai. This is an important event in the Bible. Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the altar. He took the book of the covenant and read in the hearing of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has said we will do, and we will be obedient. And keep in mind, while they're at Mount Sinai, they actually could see, at least in part, the arrival of God. It was described in earlier chapters. There was smoke, thunder, fire, lightning, the ground was shaking. It would have been an amazing thing to witness. So Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, this is the blood of the covenant which the Lord has made with you in accordance with all these words. All right, now we're going to go into this section called Moses on Mount Sinai. Then Moses went up with Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the God of Israel, and under his feet there was something like a paved work of sapphire stone, as clear as the sky itself. He did not lay his hand upon the nobles of the children of Israel. Also, they saw God, and they ate and they drank. So again, they're actually witnessing something physical here when it comes to God. This is amazing. And I like this description that there was something under his feet, something like a paved work of sapphire stone, as clear as the sky itself. So God was standing on some sort of slab that was blue, a blue slab, maybe that was hovering. The Lord said to Moses, "Come up to me to the mountain and stay there, and I will give you the stone tablets with law and the commandments which I have written, so that you may teach them." Moses rose up with Joshua, his attendant, and Moses went up to the mountain of God. He said to the elders, "Wait for us in this place until we return to you. Aaron and Hur are with you. Whoever has any matters of dispute, let him come to them." So only Moses was allowed to go with God. And there could have been a lot of reasons as to why. I mean, if you want to look at this from the ancient astronaut theorist perspective, it could have had to do with maybe only Moses had the physical tolerance of contending with the environment that was divine. Maybe it had specifically to do with germs. Okay. Maybe only Moses was not a carrier of certain diseases that God didn't want his environment contaminated with. That probably wasn't it, but you know, I do watch ancient aliens sometimes. Let's continue. Moses went up Moses went up to the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. So he was up there for 6 days. And on the seventh day, he called to Moses from the midst of the cloud. Now the appearance of the glory of the Lord was like a consuming fire on the top of the mountain to the eyes of the children of Israel. A consuming fire. So it would have been something super bright, brighter than anyone was used to seeing when it came to luminance. Moses went into the midst of the cloud and went up to the mountain. And Moses was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. And look at these numbers. That was the time of the flood. Remember, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights when it came to Noah. And God loves the number 7. He likes to get all the work done in 6 days, but on the 7th day, God likes to rest. Yes. We all need to be like God and rest on the 7th day. I got some rest today. Probably not enough. I did some work today, but I didn't mean to do work today. It just kind of fell in my lap. But anyway, that's the end of Exodus 24. Tomorrow, we will go into Exodus 25. But I do thank anyone out there who's listening to me this evening. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Good night.